One of my favorite car companies, Dodge, just announced an electric car. This is a big deal. Dodge's entire brand is based around screaming V8s, tire smoke, and not giving a heck what people think. But ironically, what people think about this Dodge EV will make or break the company's future. Will people take Dodge seriously? Will they be able to compete with EV big dogs like Tesla, Ford, and General Motors? You can call it a comeback, just don't call it an electric car.
A big thanks to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. And one of you will be thanking them next time because Omaze is giving you the chance to win this custom 1970 Chevrolet K5 Blazer restored by the Ring Brothers. And you got taxes and shipping included. That's a nice little bonus. Now beneath the carbon fiber hood sits an LS3 6.2 liter V8 making 430 horsepower. It's got QA1 shocks and sway bars, a custom Flowmaster exhaust system, and one-off HRE 18-inch wheels. But it's not just this growler green exterior that's beautiful. Oh no. Inside, you'll find a complete custom leather interior, including seats, dash, door cards, and console. There's approximately 2.5 cows worth of leather in here. So, for your chance to win this custom 1970 Chevrolet K5 Blazer, go to omaze.com/donut and enter. And best of all, every donation supports Team Rubicon and the Veterans Coalition for Vaccination. They work in aiding local and state officials and other partner organizations in distributing the COVID-19 vaccine nationwide. So hurry on up, donate for your chance to win at omaze.com/donut. Baby. Oh, he's going crazy. Oh!
On July 8th, Stellantis, parent company of Dodge and 13 other automotive brands, gave us the bare minimum information needed for us to string together some thoughts on a potential Dodge EV. As is the case for most release or reveal videos, there was a lot of production, some interesting promises, and very little of the actual car shown. Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis stood in front of the lineup of the historic Dodge family home to present his brand's electrification strategy. Quote,
Dodge will not sell electric cars. Dodge will sell American muscle.
Which we could tell is American from the bold type and color choices. In 2024, Dodge will release the world's first fully electric muscle car, which, if being what was said in the release is true, we should start seeing landing at dealers within the next 3 years. The CEO of Stellantis, Carlos Tavares, said the automaker plans for 5 gigafactories to support European and North American production of those future EVs with a $35 billion investment over the next 5 years. Tavares confidently projected that by 2025, 98% of the vehicles sold in North America will feature some sort of electrification. And crucially, the company thinks EVs will reach a cost parity with the internal combustion engine in 2026, meaning they'll cost the same to build. That's important. But before we think too far ahead into whatever a gigafactory is and what the future holds for the company, let's take a look back and see how it got to where it is under Stellantis. Because there's a good chance you're sitting there thinking, I know what Dodge is, what the hell is Stellantis? Stellantis might sound like a direct-to-video crossover sequel between Treasure Planet and Atlantis, but it's Dodge's latest parent company. The Dodge brand withstood multiple ownership changes at Chrysler. There was the 2009 bailout by the United States government and filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which led to acquisition by Fiat. When the Fiat and Chrysler groups aligned to become Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, not only did they now share a company name, they also shared over 100 manufacturing facilities, extensive global supplier bases, and more than 40 technology, research, and development centers for their long list of vehicle brands. After a failed attempt to merge with Renault a few years later in 2009, a new agreement was struck between FCA and the PSA Group. That's the French collective consisting of Peugeot, Citroën, Opel, Vauxhall, and many others. The resulting corporation, Stellantis, was established on January 16th of this year with a binding $50 billion merger, making the Dutch domiciled automaker the second biggest in Europe, right after Volkswagen. So what was in it for the PSA Group? Well, it was a move towards sustainability. While Tim Kuniskis continues to say that, quote, performance made Dodge do it, those big merger dollars weren't coming without some sort of catch. Group PSA has made sustainability in the form of ride-sharing, rental programs, and electrification programs already developing in the UK a key pillar of its corporate structure, meaning every brand under the broadened Stellantis umbrella will be going in that direction as well. Earlier this year, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares issued a challenge for the group's brands, including Dodge, to prove themselves within a 10-year window in exchange for much-needed investment in new models and technology. So think about this. Imagine your boss gives you 10 years to turn your shit around, otherwise you're done. Those are the stakes for Dodge right now. There are 4 EV platforms planned to be developed by the end of the 2020s, and overall, the company announced more than $35 billion will be invested by the end of this year. $35 billion. People, myself included, will certainly be questioning Stellantis how they plan to turn Dodge, a company known for fire-breathing, tire-belching muscle cars, green. Over half a century ago, when the Charger and Challenger were introduced, they made an impact on American muscle and bulked up demand for horsepower on domestic roads. And today, the Dodge Challenger easily outsold both the Camaro and the reigning Detroit champion, the Mustang, in the third quarter of 2019. The latest generation of Challenger included the 807 horsepower Demon, the world's fastest muscle car. With that kind of reputation to live up to, it's doubtful that the marketing alone will do the trick to make e-muscle desirable. According to Stellantis, Dodge has one of the youngest and most diverse customer bases with the highest concentration of millennials, who now account for a quarter of the US population with the highest spending power. They also report that the demographic has the highest EV acceptance. In the past, Dodge's marketing has targeted a pretty different crowd with their ad campaigns, but some of those messages just aren't going to work in today's world. So the 2021 Dodge marketing team came up with their new tagline.
Tear up the streets, not the planet.
Freaking sick, dude. And that's not even the best line the marketing group came up with. Clearly, Dodge isn't counting on the marketing to do all the selling. At least, we hope not. The Dodge brand has to count for something. So the equation Dodge will lean on for EVs comes down to spending power plus electric power plus horsepower equals Dodge EV success. Ultimately though, if none of those taglines have sold you, as Canisius says,
our customers purchase an experience, not a technology.
So the automaker will need to find a solution that protects the acceleration, torque, and dynamics that makes Dodge customers buy Chargers, Challengers, and even Durangos. How do you preserve that fire-breathing, tire-spinning flavor with an EV? Since the Hellcat's supercharged V8 and its 707 horsepower won't meet emission standards forever, and every one of the 14 Stellantis brands are expected to have electrified offerings, the Dodge brand is looking for power from another source. While they waited it out as long as they could, finding a way into the EV market was an inevitability, even for Dodge, if they want to stay competitive in a future that's less fossil fuel reliant. But Dodge being Dodge and going to the limit with everything they do, as proudly stated in their excess drive success motto, the automaker isn't just going to give customers an electric option like the rest. They're touting state-of-the-art battery tech like solid-state batteries, considered by many to be the holy grail of EV batteries, to power their cars. Stellantis said to expect ranges up to 500 miles a charge depending on vehicle size. That's insane. There's 4 different electric vehicle platforms that are collectively named Stella, or STLA. The Stella Small will handle efficient city mobility, Stella Medium for premium vehicles, and Stella Large, which is where Dodge will most likely sit with its all-wheel drive performance and American Muscle division. And finally, the Stella Frame will underpin future body-on-frame vehicles such as the Ram pickup trucks coming in 2024. The Stella Large and Frame platforms will get ranges up to 500 miles per charge, supposedly, the longest projected range of any of their EVs, and admittedly much further than you can get on a tank of gas. The batteries that Dodge puts into these new muscle EVs will be hugely important, seeing as they determine the amount of power the car can draw, how fast, and for how far. Stellantis is planning on developing and manufacturing auto batteries in gigafactories, which is a term we first heard from our boy Elon Musk almost a decade ago. Again, Dodge is running a little behind. So while this made-up word used to be a fun, techie-sounding, flashy marketing hook, it's played into the lexicon as an accepted word to use in reference to gigantic battery factories. According to Canisius, auto engineers
are reaching a practical limit of what we can squeeze from internal combustion innovation.
For that reason, Dodge is, quote, turning to EV technology as a natural evolution of the modern muscle car.
Dodge has made it this far by embracing evolution, and it's the same way the hammerhead shark has thrived at the top of the food chain.
And you know what? I don't think he's just being forced to do this. Historically, with each increase of the heavy power plant and horsepower numbers, Dodge has also seen a significant rise in market share. Whether the brand is embracing the EV concept for the possibility of increasing horsepower so customers can remain apex predators, which I think is the goal of anyone who buys a Dodge, or for their increase in the market share, Dodge is going to have to boost the power with these e-muscles. As Stellantis CEO Tavares noted, quote, "We have the technology to deliver the torque, dynamics, and acceleration feeling while also dramatically reducing the emissions." That sounds good to me, man. Talk of a likely all-wheel drive layout mixed with sweet nothings about close to 900 horsepower and 0 to 60 in 2 seconds being possibilities. It's awesome. But what if it doesn't look cool? What's not yet clear is if this Dodge EV will be an electric version of the 2-door Challenger or the 4-door Charger. In the teaser video, the designers did include the Fratzog logo, which we saw illuminated in red against an otherwise black and smoky obscured body of the new EV. This logo was very intentional. It was used in the 60s and 70s on Dodge's grills, which Dodge says is a, quote, nod to the future, which will bring about another great automotive era, the era of the electrified muscle car. I actually really dig this logo. Being a Mopar guy and owning a car with it on there makes me feel nostalgic for a time that I didn't really get to experience. But now if this performance matches and far exceeds the muscle cars of old, like, I'd love it. That's badass. Tavares is pledging to bring Dodge into the next century while keeping its current attributes, protecting the brand with new technology. Dodge has always positioned their brand as a sort of rebellious choice that stands out with the in-crowd. Their electrification strategy could have been held out for this long for any number of reasons, whether it was waiting to see how the technology and infrastructure developed, or as a slow burn as to not alienate their established customer base. I kinda get why they waited. Dodge waiting this long to hop into the EV game means there's been plenty of time for the competition to get a jump, ranging from the Ford Mustang Mach-E to the upcoming Tesla Roadster to the Porsche Taycan. So this Dodge offering is really gonna have to be impressive. This move into already crowded EV territory could be a gamble for Dodge as they stray away from their solidified traditional consumer base into greener pastures. But they're also the brand that continues to bounce back. Thank you very much for watching Wheelhouse this week. Yes, it's a gamble for Dodge, but it's inevitable. I think they're gonna pull it off. For more info on EVs, check out this video right here on whether or not electric cars are better for the environment. The answer might surprise you. Hey, if you're a donut super freak and you want even more donut content, hit the join button down below. Join the Donut Underground. Definitely check that out. Follow Donut on all social media at Donut Media. Follow me at Nolan J. Sykes. If you'd like, be kind. I'll see you next time.